On this episode, if you're gonna murder your husband, don't do it in your house. Makes it hard for me to sell. This real estate stuff is not easy, so send me your questions and I will answer them. This is the Ask Jason Show. Hello everybody, my name is Jason Piercey, and this is episode 101 of the Ask Jason Show. It's Halloween-ish, it's fall-ish. Joe and I were deciding what to talk about for a Halloween or fall-ish episode, and we were thinking creepy, scary stuff. Number one, earwigs. They're so nasty. So what happens this time of year, same with rats and mice and all kinds of rodents and vermin and disgusting little bugs. It's getting cold outside. They want somewhere warm. They want to get into your house. Keep all of like the debris and stuff around from your foundation, because I don't know if you know this or not, but all y'all foundations got cracks in them. Every damn one of them, for sure. And those earwigs are itty bitty 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 bitty, and they can squat themselves up really small, and they will get in. What are you laughing at? The usual, yeah. And they will get in, so keep like all of the like dead leaves and stuff, whatever's up against the exterior of your house, brush it all away, because that's where they like to hide. And if they're hiding there, then they'll sense the heat and they'll try and get in. So get rid of all of that stuff. That'll keep the creepy crawlies away. And then we were wondering, what is the most Halloween-ish real estate story that we have? And I thought it was going to be like a trick-or-treating kind of thing, or maybe like decorating your house for Halloween to make it more marketable this time of year, because I really feel like we could do a thing like that when Joe and I are advertising our listings, because it feels like us. But no, Joe told me this story. He sold a house 8 or 9 years ago in the fall of the year, and the listing agent, as they were assembling the deal, said, there's something that I need to tell you, Joe. And Joe said, oh? And she said, well, something happened in this house. And Joe said, tell me more. And she said, well, some time ago, there was an incident. And Joe said, I love incidents. I don't know. How are you getting an accent? I love incidents. So there was a murder in this house. Like a murder. Somebody took somebody else's life unlawfully, which is what murder means. Like a lot of, like, if like you're defending your property, or you're defending yourself and the other person gets killed, that's not murder, because you were allowed to do it. So murder is the unlawful taking of another life. Anyway, in this house, somebody was murdered. So Joe was kind of like, because he's super weird and gross and he likes creepy things, he was like, so was it just like an accident, or like what happened? And she said, no, it was not an accident. A wife murdered her husband with an axe. And Joe was like, that's the best kind of murder. That's not actually what he said. What did you really say? That's like that's like the murderous murder that you can murder? Basically, something like that. That's about as bad as it gets. So, of course, now Joe had to tell his client that this happened in this house that the client wanted to buy. So he explains to the client, you know, all this time ago, this day, a woman and a husband weren't getting along. It got really, really intense, really dramatic. And she took his life with an axe. And the client was like, okay. Are you sure? He's like, yeah, that's fine. But I have a really big problem with the wood foundation. And that is the evolution of that story. Axe murderer? No big deal. Wood foundation? I think we need to renegotiate. Which is fine. So, moral of this story is, sometimes people get axed to death in their houses, and those houses might then go up for sale. And this is considered what we would call a stigmatized property, because for some people, that could be what is called a latent defect in the home, which means there's something wrong with the house that is not easily perceivable. You can't just walk in and see that this is the case, because I imagine by this point in time, all of the blood and shards of bone had been cleaned up off of the floor. And I mean, well, can you see ghosts? Sometimes you can see ghosts, but that man's ghost definitely haunts this place. Probably with like an axe and like hanging out of his face or something. This gruesome Halloween episode. Anyway, so these are that's considered a latent defect. It's a stigmatized property, so you do have to disclose these things. So if you're selling your house, or you plan to sell your house, but first you need to murder your husband, then just maybe murder him outside of the house, because that could affect the resale value of your home. Just always strategizing, see? Always strategizing. I got you back. If you're buying a house and you're wondering if there's been an axe murder in it, a really safe way to determine this sort of thing is just Google the address and like put news next to it or anything at all. Just Google around the address. And if somebody had their face chopped off in that house, it'll probably show up on a news report. Happy Halloween! Keep the creepy crawlies away. Don't axe murder anybody in your house. I'm not gonna tell you what to do with your life. Your life is your life. Do what you need to do. But don't come to me complaining that you can't sell your house because you chopped somebody up in it. That's not on me. I could do what I could do. That's not on me. Kill people outside of your property. Have a happy Halloween. Keep those creepy crawlies away, and we'll see you next time. 101, son! The Ask Jason Show exists so that you can get good real estate related information from a resource that you can trust. Now, speaking of resources you can trust, here's a couple I would trust to work with my mom. Because good enough for mom, I mean, good enough for you.